Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining tonight's Empowering Hearts to Save Lives from Awareness to Action webinar. We are really excited to have everybody join, and I know people are getting into the room, so welcome. Thank you for making the time to join us tonight. So I'd like to introduce us, our presenters to you all. My name is Gina Petty. I'm the Executive Director of the Sudden Cardiac Arrest Foundation. I'll just go around to in a second, but I first wanted to also invite you to introduce yourselves in the chat. We're really glad to have you all here. We have many people who registered to join tonight, so we'd love to know who's in the room. So in the chat, if you'd like, everybody should be able to access the chat. Share where you're joining from and what's your dinner status, because there's people from the East Coast where we might have already finished our dinner or maybe getting ready to eat dinner, like a late dinner, or people on Pacific Coast time and maybe you're hungry. So so put in the chat what you ate good, or if you're craving something or planning on something as a snack, just introduce yourself, or what's your favorite food. We'll keep it really open. So while everyone's doing that, I would love to introduce our panelists tonight. I'll just go around. Joe Farrell. I'd love to introduce Joe. He is our, Dr. Joe Farrell is our board chair at the foundation and also a sudden cardiac arrest survivor. Joe, where are you calling from, and what's your dinner situation?
I'm calling from San Rafael, California, which is north of San Francisco. It's foggy, of course, here in the North Bay, and have not had dinner yet. I don't know what. I think we're having spaghetti and meatballs tonight. I think.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. All right, Heather, you're also on the West Coast. And we have a whole introduction of Heather later on in the presentation, so I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. But Heather is our youth ambassador at the foundation, also a survivor. Heather, go ahead.
Hi everybody, my name's Heather. Um, Live in the Bay, 50 miles from San Francisco. Like Joe said, it's really foggy over here. It's cold. Not as cold where Gina and Kara live. But for dinner, my mom is making chicken tacos.
Mm,
Oh.
sounds good. Thanks, Heather. All right, and Kara. Kara is our social media director at the Sun Cardiac Arrest Foundation. So all of the amazing graphics and content you see on our channels, Kara is the mastermind behind all of those. So welcome, Kara.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
You're
I
welcome.
am calling from Ballston Lake, New York, so not too far from where Gina is. Very cold here. We were just talking about how we have, almost 2 feet of snow. And unfortunately, I had a leftover half of a grilled cheese sandwich from my son's dinner tonight, so nothing great.
Thanks, Kara. I hope that you can get some dessert after this.
I'll have something after this too.
And I don't think I said where I'm from. I'm near Kara in upstate New York, right outside of Albany, New York. And as she said, very cold. We actually ordered takeout tonight because I was preparing for this session and didn't feel like cooking dinner. So I had chicken tenders and some French fries, the same food as my children. So um all right. So, and I'm kind of regretting this icebreaker because people are putting really delicious sounding food in the chat. And it's making me like hungry and a little jealous. But we have lots of great suggestions for food and also people coming from lots of different locations across the country. So we have a lot of great connections from across the United States and also I think in Canada this evening. So thank you all for joining. Please feel free to continue to connect in the chat. And just wanted to kind of just kick us off by seeing, who's in the room with us. And then just another kind of question. I'm going to launch a poll to find out everyone's connection to sudden cardiac arrest. So I just opened it. Hopefully, you can share what your connection is. Are you a survivor, an advocate, family member, lay responder, advocate, trainer, healthcare professional? Go ahead and take a couple minutes. Just fill out the poll, and then we will just end it so we can see kind of what the composition of tonight's crowd is, which I think will be interesting. All right, we'll give it another like 10 seconds. It looks like it's starting to slow down. All right, I'm going to end the poll. All right, so are you able to see this, you guys? Okay, so it looks like we have mostly survivors joining us tonight. 43% of you are survivors, but we have a great mix of survivors, co-survivors, advocates, trainers, educators, healthcare professionals, as well as a few lay rescuers. So welcome, everyone. Everyone is welcome at this webinar. We're really glad to have you, and there are lots of different opportunities for everyone to be involved in this year's Heart Month campaign that we are really excited to share with you tonight. So without further ado, I just wanted to pass it to Joe, who's going to just kind of set the foundation for us and talk about why we're here, why we're doing this webinar, and why awareness is important. So go ahead, Joe, over to you.
Hey everyone, thanks for attending. This is a great number of people, and thankfully you're taking time out of a busy Wednesday night or Tuesday night, sorry, to participate. Why are we here? What's the why? Well, sudden cardiac arrest, as you know, can strike anyone, anywhere, anytime. Those of survivors like myself and Heather, it just came out of the blue. We didn't know. I mean, I was at a dinner party, a memorial dinner party, ironically, for a very good professional friend when I was stricken 17 years ago. Boy, big eye opener. I know you can all agree with me. There are over 356,000 people a year that have sustain out of hospital cardiac arrest. Only about 10% survive. So we're the survivor club, those of us that are survived, and also the co-survivors. They're in the club also because they're the ones that witnessed everything and filled us in on what happened. As you're well aware, bystander CPR and use of an AED can double or triple chances of survival. I was fortunate to be around someone that knew CPR. And ironically, the year before I had my cardiac arrest, I saved a man's life on a golf course in Incline Village, Nevada. So, boy, that was unexpected. So you're not alone. Awareness is not enough. Everyone needs to take action. And I think that's the tough thing. I've treated or trained thousands of people in CPR, and it's convincing people take action. Don't be bashful. Next slide.
Right, there you go. Thanks.
So, what's our foundation about? I've been involved as a board member for 7 years at this foundation. It's very dear to my heart. I wouldn't be the chairman of the board of directors if it wasn't my passion. I feel I'm paying back, and our vision is really straightforward. It's to eliminate preventable death and disability from sudden cardiac arrest, and as important, to support people affected by cardiac arrest. And that's, family members, wives, husbands, friends, etc. Our mission is to raise awareness of sudden cardiac arrest and promote initiatives to help save lives through education, research, and community. And I think shortly, Gina will let you know that our Ready to Respond program this past October trained almost 9,000 people in the country in hands-only CPR and how to use an AED. That's pretty monumental. I hope we could get 20,000 with your help next year.
Thanks, Joe. So I'm going to just touch on very quickly, these are some of our key initiatives. More information on all of these is available on our website if you're interested, but we do have the Cardiac Arrest Survivor Alliance, or CASA program. which is our peer support community. We are co-hosts of the Call Push Shock educational campaign. We host a few different awards programs that we just awarded in December at the Citizen CPR's Cardiac Arrest Survival Summit. We do various contests and giveaways focused on AEDs and training opportunities and lots of different things like that. Awareness is a huge part of what we do. So February, what we're talking about tonight, we're doing our campaign during American Heart Month. We also do a lot of robust awareness during June. The first week of June is CPR and AED week. And then certainly in October being Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month. And as Joe said, we hosted our inaugural Ready to Respond campaign this past October, and we had 97 locations that trained almost 9,000 people in total. So we have many wonderful champions on the call tonight as well. We have the Heart Champion program, which is our volunteer program for anyone that wants to raise awareness locally in their communities. We have tools and resources and collaborate with you to do that. So if you're interested in that, we'd love to welcome you into that program as well. And then we really strive to be an information clearinghouse, sharing all things on sudden cardiac arrest, updates, research, storytelling, lots of different tools and resources like that. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have more questions or want to get involved in any of those opportunities as well. But what today's webinar is about is our campaign for American Heart Month. So February is just around the corner, and we wanted to really share an overview of what our plan is for February so that we can share with you all the different ways that you can get involved and support the efforts, because we have a stronger voice together, and the more awareness that we can collectively raise makes a bigger impact. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So our campaign's theme is called Empowering Hearts to Save Lives from Awareness to Action. And so this is going to be all month long. You'll see Kara's going to be super busy because we have so much great social media content planned and just really robust programming that we're going to be offering throughout February. And there's opportunities for everybody. So whether you are an individual, you want to participate with your workplace, with your school, your campus community, you want to share information with your family and friends, there's room for all of that. And it's really customizable and flexible for how you get involved. So each week this year, we are having a different theme. And together, it all leads into this Empowering Hearts to Save Lives kind of umbrella. So we're going to take you week by week, but the first week is really about sharing your why and talking about why raising awareness is important and storytelling. Week 2 is all about CPR. Week 3 is focused on AEDs, and week 4 is about taking all of the great momentum that we're building during the month and how we can continue that throughout the year, because we work really hard to raise awareness during these key campaign moments, but also every day of the year, we're always trying to educate and reach people about sudden cardiac arrest. So we're going to talk about how we can do that. So before we move on, one more poll just to, let me see if it will let me do it. Sorry. Let's see. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to launch another poll. This is the last one, I promise, but this just as kind of getting a temperature check of have you thought about Heart Month? So have you done any preparations for Heart Month? How do you feel? How prepared do you feel to take action during February? And if you haven't thought about it yet, that's okay because you're here. So that's a great step. But just wanted to kind of gauge everybody's kind of where you're at in this process, and that will help us kind of think about how we can best support you. So I'll give it another 10 seconds. It looks like people are still populating their answers. There's no right or wrong answer either, so no worries. All right, I'm going to end the poll. Okay, so most people are not, interested, but maybe haven't done much preparation yet, which is totally okay. Somewhat prepared, so between somewhat prepared and not prepared, which is totally fine. February hasn't started yet, and that's why we're doing this webinar. And this really helps us because we want to help you with tools and resources. And so we really want to make it easy, very turnkey kind of resources and lots of different calls to action that you can kind of choose what makes sense for you in terms of getting involved in raising awareness this month and beyond. Okay, so now I'm going to
Okay. Sorry, Gina, you froze for a second there.
sorry.
It's
All right.
okay.
Must be the wind.
It must
I
be the
think
cold
so.
weather, yes.
I'm going to turn my camera off while I'm not talking.
Hi, everyone. So for week one of the campaign, it's really about sharing your why. So our key messaging here is everyone has a reason to care. Stories save lives because they inspire action. And what we'll be doing on social media all week for that first week is really encouraging our followers to share your why. So why does sudden cardiac arrest awareness matter to you? So we'll be encouraging people to either record a short video and post it online or share a quote or a photo, and using all of these lovely hashtags that we have listed here, and also tagging us in any posts that you share that week. Another fun thing we might do is encourage people to nominate someone to share their why. So if you know someone who's been impacted by sudden cardiac arrest and you think their story would be, really helpful for other people to hear, then nominate them to share their why during that week as well. And then also during week one, we'll be posting a lot of resources on how you can tell your story, sharing the Heart Champion toolkit and things like that. So that first week, kicking it off, we're gonna, hope for a lot of stories from you guys about how, sudden cardiac arrest has impacted you and why awareness is important.
Thanks, Kara.
Yeah.
Okay. And the calendar in February this year lines up perfectly. So every week it starts on a Sunday, ends on a Saturday. So it's like really easy kind of thinking about it where you have, the beginning of the week would be starting that Sunday every for the different themes. So week 2 is all about CPR. And so really wanting to emphasize that CPR can save a life and that anyone can do it. So, just really trying to instill people, again, empowering hearts to save lives. So empowering people to have the courage to act. So whether, they've learned CPR, maybe people have not learned CPR yet in your community, in your network, this would be an excellent time to share with them how to do hands-only CPR. And so, as Kara said, on social media, we're going to be using these hashtags, but really wanting to showcase people in the community, in our network, sharing testimonials about how CPR has saved a life or how they have used CPR to save someone else's life, sharing photos or videos. I'm going to talk to Heather about this later because Heather is an excellent content creator for how to do hands-only CPR, and she has some amazing ideas. So we'll get to that in a bit. But another cool thing that we're doing during this week is there's a web app called Practice Perfect CPR, and a shout out to Kyle for making this available to us. But this is a web app that you can do right from the comfort of your own home. It gives you feedback on, you can practice your compressions on like a stuffed animal, a pillow, and it gives you feedback on your compressions and the speed and the rate. And so it's really a cool tool. Kyle's making that available for free to anyone that wants to use it from the foundation's network for that whole week during CPR week. So that's definitely something that you can take advantage of or share with others to encourage them to practice and learn. We're going to be sharing lots of videos. We also have this amazing network within our constituency of Ready to Respond hosts who led these. These are photos at the bottom here. These are Ready to Respond events in October that focus on hands-only CPR and AED training. So if you hosted a Ready to Respond event, or if you're a heart champion or a medical professional or a rescuer and you have a passion for training, would love to see some photos and videos from you all as well in action. We'd love to share that and showcase that. And also just keep an eye out on our social media for some special surprises, maybe some giveaways. I'm not going to say too much, but yeah, just watch our social. Similarly, week 3, so we had CPR week 2, then in week 3, we move into focusing all about AEDs. So really wanting to drive home the point that AEDs help save lives and that they're easy to use for people to get prompts, follow the instructions to help save a life. So we have a lot of different calls to action this week, all around AEDs, and you'll see those coming out on social media that week. But really challenging people to find the AEDs in your community. Thinking about, are they in your schools, your workplaces, in community centers? Where are they? And if you find them, register them on the near registry through the PulsePoint app. That's a great opportunity to let people know in the national registry so that people are aware of where AEDs are located. Similarly, pay attention to where AEDs are, but also pay attention to where they are not. So if you are going around your community and you notice that there's some places that don't have an AED that should, are you in a high traffic area with a lot of public traffic? Are you in, sports centers and there's no AED? Thinking about those sorts of places and then thinking through how you might start a conversation with someone in those locations to bring an AED into those places to make them safer for the community and for those people who are in those locations. So we have tools and templates available as well in our Champion Toolkit for ways to start the conversation and to have some outreach to, again, have these kind of conversations. Also, we'll be sharing information about, some of the dispelling of the myths around AEDs, to let people know, that to really lower the barriers around using an AED, but also to encourage people to familiarize themselves with how to use them, where they are, right, and that they're important life-saving devices. And again, I'm not going to disclose too much, but you're going to want to watch our social media this week for sure, because we have some special giveaways and some surprises. So just make sure that you're following us and subscribe to all of our updates and so forth. But it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks.
Hey, Gina, could you try your camera? Turn it on, please.
Yes.
A couple of people want to see you.
Oh, sorry. I turned it off because I think my
Beautiful.
connection was going bad. All right,
Oh,
here, I'm
there
back.
you are.
All right, I'm
Okay.
back. I'm back. Sorry, everybody. So yeah, we have those 2 weeks will be really jam-packed with information and definitely share that out and pay attention to what we're posting and some things that you might want to take advantage of for your own communities. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Kara for this slide.
Okay, and so for week 4, our final week of the campaign, it's really going to be about continuing the momentum. So what do you do beyond February? And our key messaging here is awareness is the start, action is the difference. So all week long, we're going to be encouraging people to commit to one or more actions to really continue the momentum from this campaign. And that could be either joining as a heart champion, fundraising or donating, maybe hosting a CPR or AED training, advocating at work or school, sharing all of the wonderful Sudden Cardiac Arrest Foundation resources year round, joining the Cardiac Arrest Survivor Alliance, maybe, CASA. And then also saving the date for our next big campaigns that will come in October for Ready to Respond, and then save the date for National CPR and AED Awareness Week in June. So this week, we're really just kind of going to be rounding out the campaign, sharing some wonderful stories from heart champions, testimonials, recapping the month's impact, and sharing posts on what's next and how you can stay ready and stay prepared, and keep the momentum going.
Awesome. Thanks, Kara. Okay, so now I would love to introduce everybody more to Heather Freely, who is, if you saw our newsletter and our social, we introduced Heather a couple weeks ago, in January, as our newest ambassador at the foundation, and our first so far youth ambassador. So Heather is, if you've seen her at any of the different conferences, if you follow her on social media, you know that she is a force. And we are just so I'm just so excited to have Heather joining us and raising awareness. And I'm just would love to have Heather, share a little bit about yourself if you want to share your story and how you've really taken that into to turn it around into being such an advocate. Would love to hear more about your story, Heather. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Just want to say hi to my heart community. I also see Ed, Ed Kozak, Haley, and Lindsay out there. Just want to say hi, but share my story. Just a quick little synopsis of it. Long story short, I'm a sudden cardiac arrest survivor, and I survived sudden cardiac arrest at the age of 13. I was in math class about to take a test. I just slumped over. My friends called 911. Called my principal, rushed in, he started CPR, and fun fact, he just got CPR training 2 weeks prior to my incident. Paramedics, firefighters, they were all on their way. They came, they took over CPR, and while they were doing CPR on me, I died. So I needed an AED, but my school didn't have one. So I had to get an AED from the paramedics. Took me 4 shocks to come back. Was put in medically induced coma. Long story short, was airlifted to a hospital in my 20 long hour coma, woke up, was in the ICU for a couple weeks, got a heart surgery, walked out of the hospital on October 5th, full of life, made a full recovery, thankfully. And my advocacy, now I am a national ambassador for the American Heart Association and now a new SCAF ambassador. I've been fortunate enough with the American Heart Association to champion a law that was now renamed after me called the Heather Freely Act. I've gone to Washington, D.C. to advocate for the Heart Act, AED Act. And fun fact, my principal, Gina, was talking about the awards that SCAF offers. And my principal, Mr. Thiel, who saved my life, won the People Saving People Awards in December. So if you see the photo on the slide. And I serve on a lot of foundations, and I'm so passionate about this, love giving my free time to the heart community, teaching CPR and how to use an AED to, my little brother's fourth grade class, middle schoolers. I love doing youth heart screenings. So that's a little what I like to do.
Thanks, Heather. I mean, just the amount of accomplishments that Heather has on her resume is it's just amazing and so inspirational. And we're just so fortunate that you're part of our foundation. So I love to talk to Heather. So Heather, you have like such creative ideas, and I know that I follow you on social media, our foundation follows you as well. And you are always posting like amazing content, and much of it is about teaching people how to do CPR, how to find, locating AEDs in your community. So Heather, tell me about how many AEDs you found recently when you were on your hunt for AEDs. Can you tell us that story?
So I'm the Carl J. Taylor Foundation, who does free youth heart screenings. I'm a junior board member, and they were hosting an AED scavenger hunt, and you would find AEDs and they would enter you into a draw to win a Nintendo Switch. So playing on the trend, we found 67 AEDs, with the youth, follow the trend, and it was a great experience. I mean, finding those AEDs, you really learn that people don't know what an AED is. They might have an AED, but they don't know where it is. It's like gyms, like some of them had it under their desk and then they were like, "Oh, here it is," and it's kind of dusty and dirty. Some people didn't have AEDs. Like we went, me and my dad, he drove me to the AMC theater. We went to Chick-fil-A because we love Chick-fil-A, and they didn't have AEDs, so we actually called them out on social media and we actually got responses. And I mean, the whole point of it was just to spread awareness because like people don't know that sudden cardiac arrest is the number one killer in youth, and we need AEDs everywhere. I mean, we're always out hustling and bustling around doing all the things, having fun we want to do. So we need all these places need to be ready and equipped with these AEDs so they can save a life.
Yeah. And then recently, and I would love to actually, we're going to reshare this video during our campaign too, because it was so good. You had a really great how-to video on how to register an AED on Pulse Point, right? And just to make it super easy for people to understand if you've never used the app, how to do it, and Heather really walks you through. You can see her doing it in live time. It only took a short amount of time, right? And just really like um engaging and educational content, and it appeals to people of all ages too, Heather. So, I think the stuff that you're putting out there is really cool. Tell us about the this one here, the doll. Can you tell us about the
Okay. So that's my mini me. We had her name was Valencia. She made these dolls for us for our videos. Her name's Alexis because my middle name's Alexis. Oh, there she is. We use her for lots of videos. I also have a Doberman. I actually have a Doberman. Oh, I can't. His name's Venom. He is so sweet. And then I also have an AED. So they're their little trio. We love to use them in videos. We use AI to make them talk because AI is getting really big right now. So we found out how to make them talk and do all these different actions. And it really appeals to older people too. You'll find out when we show them to people. Older people really love them because they're seeing the younger generation start to make these new creative things. It's not always the same repeated CPR and AED videos and, demos. It's just really taking it to the next level of creativity, which makes it fun and engaging for all ages.
Yeah, it's amazing. And okay, I just want to go over to this one too. So I remember seeing this video on the right hand side here. I think I was like, okay, Heather, I'll see you at the summit. We were like flying to Phoenix, and then I see that in the airport, Heather is showing people how to do hands-only CPR. So tell us about what you were doing at the airport, Heather.
Oh, we reached out to Preston Products. Lindsay is on this call, and she was kind enough, and her and Allie, the marketing man, to also donate a Preston Products training kit with the dummies, female mannequin, male mannequin babies, the sorts. So we brought it with us to Arizona for the Citizen CPR Foundation Summit. So we were in the airport and we tried these couple of people first. They said no. And I was really nervous. My dad pushed me. He was like, Heather, go do this. And I was like, okay. She was so kind, and I found out that she just got CPR certification 1 or 2 weeks prior. What a coincidence.
Oh,
And I was really emphasizing doing CPR on females because people, they don't want to remove a woman's clothing. You don't want to be insensitive, disrespectful. You don't exactly like, and it's understandable. We're really because the AHA new guidelines show that women are less likely to receive CPR from bystanders, and they're more likely of not surviving a sudden cardiac arrest. So I was really emphasizing that every person needs CPR, and especially women.
yes. Awesome. Yeah, so if you don't follow Heather, definitely make sure you do. Heather, if you want to stick your handle in there in the chat, feel free because you're missing out on some great content if you haven't seen Heather's social offerings. But so, as far as our campaign for Heart Month, I know Heather's going to create some new content during our campaign, and she already has some great videos that we'll also be sharing out again on our social media. But really wanting to just make that available to people because it is really engaging and really creative, clever ideas of how to reach people. Heather, what are your thoughts being a teenager? Like, talk to us a little bit about engaging like the next generation of advocates. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because you're super passionate. What are kind of priorities for you in terms of, getting this message to the youth community?
I'm sure everybody here knows who advocates that it's really hard to reach the younger generation because they don't really care about it. They don't think it's cool. It's like, I guess I'm too cool for school, so they don't really want to do it. But ways I try to engage the youth, I serve on my Tracy, where I live, Tracy, California, our youth city council. So with them, I try to really engage the youth, and I'm hosting my very own youth heart screening here with the Carl J. Taylor Foundation, first one ever in my city, putting it out all over my Instagram, and I'm really just trying to stress how important it is for youth to get their heart screened. And bringing in youth, I worked with this local Instagram creator. He has a bunch of followers, worked with him to make a video, teach CPR, and reach it to so many people who I never thought I could reach. And still making these creative videos that engage the youth. And I show my little brothers and his friends see, and they think it's so funny. Like just the dolls are really eye-catching. So still
Mhm.
making these fun creative videos and I mean just talking, advocating. And it's still really hard, and I'm sure everybody here knows that, but doing that.
Yeah, you're doing amazing work, and I hope that you know how impressive it is of how many people you reach and inspire every day. Um, One of the things too, Heather is our new ambassador, but she's also a heart champion. And one of the things that we're going to be prioritizing this year at the foundation, we have about 240 heart champions currently. And one of the things that we're going to try to roll out this year is to do more targeted youth engagement, like heart champion opportunities. So Heather will be, a key thought partner in that project as well. So definitely stay tuned for all that is to come. But thanks, Heather, for all of your great work.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to seeing all of your great content in February.
Can I
Um,
make a comment,
yeah,
please?
sure.
I having Heather on board is just beautiful. She's fantastic.
Thank
And
you,
I
Joe.
just want to share what Heather's really doing. It's something that my wife and I in our Heart Safe committee in San Ramon Valley, California, a number of years ago dreamed of, is changing the culture of the use of CPR and AED. And we started a seventh grade CPR program in 2010 in San Ramon Valley, trained over 30,000 young people CPR. Heather's our champ there. Heather's leading the way now. And I'm hoping everyone on this call would not forget to teach youth CPR because then they're going to teach many, many people CPR and it'll spread because not enough people are trained. So my hat's off to you, Heather, and you got to help us change the culture. And it's going to take youth to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. And well, I just have like one more statement, I guess. And sorry, my dogs are really loud. But any youth on here, anybody, I just want to offer like people to collab with me. Like please reach out to me. I would love to work with all youth on here to make videos and make more engaging videos, CPR, AED, anything, so we can spread the word more because that's what it's all about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to kick it back to Kara to talk to us about what else to expect during February's campaign.
Thanks, Gina. So, what else to expect? We will have social media cover and profile photos that you can use to show your support. They'll be downloadable via a toolkit that we can share, and I'll put that in the chat as well. We're going to share powerful stories and testimonials, a lot of educational content, so videos, infographics, quizzes, resources, things like that. Some really engaging calls to action. We really want this to be about you guys sharing your stories and getting the word out there, and some fun challenges. And like Gina said, definitely stay tuned. We're going to have lots of surprises and giveaways. So be sure to follow us all month long.
Thanks, Kara. And just to piggyback on that, we recognize that there's a lot there. You'll see as the campaign unfolds, there's lots to do. Don't feel pressured to participate in everything. you can see what works for you and how you might feel best participating and engaging in the campaign. There's lots of different things that you can do virtually, digitally. You can, there's opportunities to go out in person and do different things, opportunities to join the cause and in your community, share information. So there's lots of different opportunities. So, definitely think about what is the best fit for you based on your interests and your capacity and your, skill set. Like for example, like I love the videos that Heather makes with those dolls. I would have no idea how to do those. I was talking to her in Florida. I was like, how do you make them talk? And so like, I recognize that's not my skill set, so I won't be doing those. I'm going to share her videos though. So, so just thinking about where you might contribute and what feels like the best fit for you. But there's so many different opportunities. So just think about, what makes the most sense for you. And if you need help or if you need additional resources that may not be in the toolkit that you feel would be helpful, just reach out to us. And we have this whole team of, great network of people who are, ready to help. So just, let us know and we'll connect you or we'll create a resource for you. We want to be as helpful as we can in terms of providing resources and information, or connecting you with experts that can help with that. So, so really thinking about, sharing our posts would be great. Starting a conversation with your friends and family. So just, having a simple conversation with your inner circle is, a great start. Thinking about, do they know CPR? Can you teach them CPR or help them with learning about AEDs or where the AEDs are in your community? There's also opportunities to support our work through making a donation to the foundation or fundraising for the foundation. We have a peer-to-peer campaign platform that is available on our online toolkit where you can start a fundraising event for the Heart Month campaign to support our efforts as well. And certainly become a heart champion. So if you're not already a heart champion, I encourage you to sign up as one. It takes about a minute to sign up, and then it gives you automatic access to our champion toolkit. So in addition to the awareness toolkit for Heart Month, the champion toolkit is an year-round resource that continues to be updated regularly. It's for heart champions to use and implement in their communities. So definitely join us in that effort too. There's different webinars that we also do for heart champions too throughout the year. So as Kara said, we have the toolkit, which is available here. So if you click on this link or scan the QR code, this takes you to our landing page on our website. And that's where all of the downloadable resources are located. So if you want to change your social media cover photos, profile photos, there's links to quizzes, there's the link to the fundraising opportunities. There's lots of different stuff there. So so feel free to visit that page often. And as I said, if there's other ideas that you have that would be helpful for us to add, just, don't hesitate to reach out. But that should give you a good start with some resources as well. Okay, I'm going to pass it back to Joe for some remarks as we kind of start to wind down.
Thank you, Gina. I think we're all aware that it takes action. This is why this matters. We all know that, at least I'm pretty confident everyone on this call understands that my screen's not showing, is it?
We see you. We see you.
You,
Your
but you
video's
don't
on.
see my screen, do you?
No.
Oh,
Are
good.
you trying
Somehow
to?
my screen came up. Anyway, I
Oh,
apologize. Anyway, we've got to be ready. Sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death in the United States of America. Depending on the resource you read, anywhere from 350 to 450,000 people die a year. That's well over 1,200 people a day. That's phenomenal. I believe we have an epidemic that is not recognized by the populace of our country and, in particular, our state and federal government. Survival depends on being ready. We got to teach more people CPR and how to use an AED. Locate AEDs. You don't have an AED, you don't live. You got to get there quick. Every second counts. Awareness is not enough. Those of us that have taught thousands of people CPR and how to use an AED understand that you must take action. And we have to convince our students and citizens to take actions. Because think about how their action can save a lot of heartache if that victim doesn't survive. It's very, very tough if one doesn't survive. And only 10% of us survive out of hospital cardiac arrest. So American Heart Month, February, it's really our moment. And I mean our moment. We got to get together here and turn awareness into action. Got to step up. Thank you all for being part of this webinar. I hope you can make time to join the Heart Champions program, and let's teach thousands and thousands of people CPR this year, in particular in October, which is Sudden Cardiac Awareness Month. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. So I'd love to, kind of just bring it back to the group. We've put a lot of information out there. Hopefully, much of it resonates with you as far as being information that you are excited to use or feel like will be helpful to you in using in your awareness efforts in February. So I'd love to just open it back up in the chat if you'd like to answer this first prompt. After everything that you've heard tonight, what is one thing that you're feeling inspired to do during American Heart Month this year, this February? And Kara is getting a shout out for an amazing job on social media. So great job, Kara. Learn CPR, spread awareness, advocate for CPR, sharing stories, joining the Cardiac Arrest Survival Alliance, finding AEDs, teaching hands-only CPR. Yeah, so all of these are fantastic ideas. And all very, very actionable. So it's continuing to stress urgency. Yes, that's such an important message. Uh, Diversity, reaching folks in other languages. That's something that is something that we want to work on to do a better job of as well. What's one insight from tonight that you're likely to share with someone? So is there something that you heard tonight that might help in your outreach? Sharing, telling your neighbors about learning CPR, reaching out to the media, the AED locator app. Yes, all of these are great. And we'll send these links out in a post webinar email too. So we've shared a lot of links. We'll also, make sure that you have access to all of those as well. Anything that we put in the chat tonight, we'll make sure that we hyperlink those for you all. Yeah, so and somebody is saying, they're the locating AEDs, like that's a great activity for schools to do, for kids too. Like that would be a great thing to do locally in your school community or a youth organization. I think that would be a great one too. Okay. And then after hearing about kind of some of the things that we have planned, are there other resources that are coming to mind that would be helpful to you in your awareness efforts? Because we're always open for feedback and wanting to really make things really turnkey ready for people to kind of take them and use them, easily in your community. So if there are other resources that would be helpful to you, please reach out, put them in the chat as well, but you can always email me as well. There's some great ideas in the chat here too. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely take all of these comments too. We do have so there's a question here about resources that for handing out at events and classes. So we do have some limited supply of some materials that we can ship to you if you're doing an in-person event. We have some swag, some stickers. We also have some educational resources. So if anyone is interested in those, I think I have my contact information, yep, on this slide. So if anybody has special requests like that, just shoot me an email and let me know kind of what your plans are and what you're looking for, and I'll be happy to work with you and send you some materials um, that might be of assistance to you in your efforts. So definitely reach out. Um, I let's see. There's a lot of questions coming in, so I apologize that if I'm jumping around a little bit. And if there are questions that are unanswered, we will follow up with you all offline too, or if we might need to look into the answers for you. Um, I'm
Hey,
just,
Gina, I think it's
yeah.
worthwhile mentioning there's something in the chat about putting information in Spanish and French that CASA is probably 95% ready to go for Spanish speaking individuals. So that's a huge milestone. Do you know when that's going to be rolled out?
Yeah, that's a great, thank you for that. So we're working to translate the Casa Hearts website into Spanish. I'm hoping that we can go live with that in the next like 2 weeks. But we'll definitely make an announcement for that. And then we are also setting up within Casa, there's an affinity group for Spanish speaking folks who have joined that group so that they can connect in Spanish as well. So we'll be sure to, when that goes live, we'll be sure to let everybody know, and that could be an additional resource for the Spanish speaking community. Um, okay. Um, sorry, I'm just trying to kind of scan if there are questions here. Yeah, if you're doing events, just reach out to us and we can definitely do. So there's also a comment here about new like getting media attention. So in our Heart Champion Toolkit, we have a lot of press release templates available. So if you are looking to connect with your local media, there are some tools and resources in our Heart Champion toolkit that will be hopefully a good start for you. But if you are in contact with your local media and you need support, definitely like loop me in, and I'm happy to help you as well with any of those efforts. Because February would be a great time to really try to get some additional media attention as we're amplifying awareness and just teaching people what sudden cardiac arrest is. Okay. Um, And then there's a lot of some comments in here about youth. So yeah, I think, with Heather coming on board as our youth ambassador and also helping us roll out some additional tools and resources for our Heart Champion focus on youth, there's a lot of exciting stuff to come in the next few months too. So I feel like our future is bright. There's a lot of awareness that we can raise together. And as I said in the beginning, I think that our voices are strongest together. So there's, lots of power in our message, and, please continue to utilize the resources, connect with us, partner with us, and let us know how we can best support your efforts. A couple of final QR codes are on this screen at the bottom here. If you're not already getting our newsletter, be sure to sign up for that. We'd love to stay in touch that way. If you'd like to make a contribution to support our efforts, there's a donation link on the bottom as well. And then the one I'd like to direct your attention to is this one on the top right. If you find our work, if this webinar was helpful to you tonight, or if you are supportive of our foundation, we would love for you to leave a review on the Great Nonprofits website. this helps with our ratings and our transparency seals. And we would love to get some positive reviews for 2026 so that we can get this 2025 banner to change to 2026. So we'd love to have you take a few minutes and do that. It takes like 2 minutes to leave a review, and we would be really grateful if you're willing to do that. And I think with that, I'm just going to open it up for any final comments from any of the other panelists for tonight.
Thanks everyone for attending. This was great, and we're really excited for February.
We got to take action.
Thanks, everybody. All right. Well, without, I think we will wrap it up. I don't think there's any, I'll follow up with any other questions that we missed, but we'll follow up soon. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day and enjoy eating the dinner or the snacks that you mentioned earlier on. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Joe, Heather, and Kara.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.